Alright, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's video will be a deck profile on Not the Brave Chaotic Meddler. This character has kind of been low-key wrecking some testing that I've been watching. She seems to be very underrated, and I think that this character, I don't know if she's underrated now after people have gotten their hands on her, but she's actually kind of cool. She has a really good kind of like a not like a ticking time bomb, but she's more of like a hey man, you better kill me before I get like 7 momentum and you can't block anything. Yeah, because they're just gonna be so fast. Yeah, that you can't block them. So, Nott is a 721 air, chaos, and void. So this is a chaos main deck with some other attuned cards from air and void. So we're looking at Mighty Nine Thief. She's, like I said, 721, and she has 3 abilities, which is super fantastic. 3 ability characters are usually never great at all, ever. Period. Your turn. Your rival mills 2. If the milled cards share a card type, seal a rival foundation. Excuse me. Uh, this is really good. So dealing with problem foundations on defense, say they have a reset, a speed reset, gone. If they have a damage reset, gone. Like if they have card draw, gone. It's just super. It's really a really good utility piece on top of what she can do. Enhance, your attack gets X speed. X equals your momentum plus 1, so you're always getting 1 speed to start, and then it's just going to scale from there. Her late game scaling is insane. Even her mid game is insane because you put in like a massive swing, get a momentum, rapid speed slash, get a momentum, rapid speed slash, get a momentum, high velocity slice gets you a momentum. So you're just able to get so much momentum so fast, and it's so free that you're just able to just start blitzing your opponent out. She has a third ability, response commit, spend a momentum after you block an attack, it deals no damage. As a 7-hander, it's fantastic. It gives us an on-block trick that we really need because to preserve that 21 health that we have that can just get whittled away. Going into our foundations from our attacks, we got Covert Assault at a 2x, 3 high, it's a 3 difficulty, 3 check, 1 high block. 4 high for 3, breaker 1 charge. Response after you block with this card, you may ready 2 foundations. Your rival could commit 2 foundations to cancel this ability. So it's really good. It's kind of similar to like a breaker 3 type card, but it's like perma breaker 2 if they commit 2 foundations so they don't get breaker 1 and then you ready 2 things. So they may just let you ready the 2 things, but it also depends on they have to commit the 2 foundations before you choose the 2 foundations you ready because it's part of the cost. And then you always breaker 1 them. It's really kind of like an innocuous ability where it's like you get a bunch of momentum. This is an 4 plus X high for 3 in any way you can add damage. Like we're probably going to look at adding surprising strength so we can just dump powerful on this at the end of a string and just crush people. 3 copies of high velocity slice, 5 difficulty, 3 check, 2 high block, 4 high for 5. Breaker 1, stun 1, weapon. If this is the only attack in your card pool, at the top card, you deck your momentum. We love free momentum in this character, so we're already starting on a positive, so we're getting +1/+1, so we're getting 2 speed on every move after this, including this move, which is great. Deadlock Blitz. Actually, and also perma 1 speed, kind of, with the stun 1. And then we have Deadlock Blitz that gets +1 to our stun rating, which equals each card in our momentum. So if they go into Deadlock and then we have like 5 momentum, this card's just a wall breaker in its own right. Walk the dog, no surprise here. 8 difficulty, 3 check, 2 low block, 606. Gets -1 difficulty for each committed foundation in your rival stage, maximum -4. Enhanced, draw a card for each copy of Walk the Dog in your card pool. Powerful 3, range, stun 1 weapon. This card has been around since Yu Yu Hakusho 2. It's always going to be around. People are going to want it banned. It's kind of unfair sometimes when you want to block things and then you know the Walk the Dogs are coming, you're just going to end up dying. Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken at a 2x, 5 difficulty, 3 check, 2 high block, 4 high for 6. It's one of the best cards in the game. Everyone should know what this card does. A momentum gets 2 speed when it's in your momentum, so you get 1 momentum off of itself with Nott, and then you get +2 speed off its own ability, so you can really jam home some moves. Commit and freeze a rival foundation, fantastic. And also if they have an asset, commit it. So this is actually one of the coolest surgical removal pieces by just committing and freezing and then committing in an asset. It's really good for those problem abilities. Massive Swing at a 2x is actually one of my favorite cards from AOT1. It does so much for so nothing. 5 difficulty, 3 check, 2 mid block, 5 mid 6. Powerful 2, fantastic, like on demand kill card late in game. Blitz, Fury Slam, Blitz if you have no momentum at the top card of your deck to your momentum. So we're getting plus off of that. And then Deadlock Blitz at the top card of your deck to your momentum. So if they're in Deadlock, we get to add 2 momentum, which gives us 3 speed, and then we could dump Powerful. So this could end up being like an 8 mid for 12. Sure, why not? And it just like can nuke people from nowhere. Next up, we got 4 copies of Rapid Speed Slash, 4 difficulty, 3 check, 1 mid block, 4 low 4. As Breaker 1, EX3, and Weapon. Enhance. Draw 1 card or add the top card of your deck to momentum, only playable if we have a momentum. So once we get a momentum, we're able to play this to add another momentum or draw a card. More often than not, we're probably looking to just add another momentum to build up our speed stock. And then once we build up our speed stock, we can start drawing cards with this. If we have a way to like put powerful or damage on this card just becomes a straight beating because it's whatever speed we get off a Nott, and then we get to EX3 it. So like if they're at 4 or less, they're probably dying. And then we get to play Armor of Phoenix and Armor of the Wolf. Go tandem together. Armor of the Phoenix, 4 difficulty, 3 check, 2 low block, 4 high for 4. We get a speed but instead of momentum. And then if we have 2 speed, at least only playable if we have at least 1 momentum. So it becomes super duper fast for not a whole lot, but it is a good poke. It does help us build up our momentum stock, and then we can just lead into the next move, which is one of the best kill cons in the game. When you have a crap ton of momentum, Armor of the Wolf, 5 difficulty, 3 check, 2 high block, 5 mid 5. We get a damage if it's in our momentum. Also, response after our rival passes on an enhance, it gets a damage. So that means just back and forth passing. If they pass, you get a damage, you get a damage, you get a damage. And then has EX3, Powerful 3, and Slam. So we could just chunk a bunch of speed onto this thing and then yeet all of the momentum for Powerful, which is fantastic. Going into our foundations, we got 1 copy of Change of Plans, 2 difficulty, 5 check, 2 mid block. Unique response at the start of your end phase. If your rival has blocked 2 or more attacks this turn, we get to add the top card of our deck to momentum. Deadlock form once per turn, we get to momentum. This card's probably a little win more in this build, just because we're probably going to end up getting like early game. It's kind of good, but late game it doesn't really do a whole lot unless they're in deadlock. It just kind of sits there because they're not going to be able to block 2 or more attacks anyways. Fortune's Favor at a 4x, 2, 4, 3 low block response. After your rival fails to check, we get +1. And then response remove after we fail a check to play a non-attack card, your combat phase does not end. So we can play this, we can have this early and then try to like build out more foundations, and if we fail it, we get to play another one. Also, if our rival fails like a block during our turn, we get +1 to our check. So we get our next move is easier to play, which in turn kind of makes it faster by getting a bunch of momentum. History's Greatest Monster, we are playing a bunch of 5 difficulty attacks, so 3 check, 5 3 difficulty, 5 check, 2 mid block. Response once per turn, Tenacious. After we play a card to print difficulty 5 or greater, we get to ready it, and it gives us some deadlock pressure by giving an attack throw. Like giving Armor of the Wolf throws sounds insane, right? Giving Walk the Dog throw, giving Massive Swing throw, anything that we were able to dump a bunch of damage on just sounds insane to put throw onto. 4 copies of Treasure Hunting, 1/5, 3 high block. Form Flip, draw a card. If our rival has 15 or more cards in our discard pile, we don't have to discard a card. So really, it's really after turn 2 on, it's always just going to draw a card on form speed, which is fantastic. We got 2 copies of Short-Lived Promotion, 2, 5, 3 mid block. Flip, before our draw step, we get to be an 8-hander. Can't complain. More cards are always good. Long range support, 2, 5, 3 low block response once per turn. After an attack deals damage to a character, we get to draw a card, discard a card. So we get to that cycle draw to be able to dig more foundations out. I mean, more attacks out of our deck, because we need those. Next up is 3 copies of Unsettling Eating Habits, 1/5/4 mid block. Don't worry about that mid block because we're always building this card. Remove, add 1 card with the difficulty of 1 from our discard pile to our momentum. So any of our foundations that are difficulty 1 in our discard pile, just go straight in, right into our momentum, and it keeps adding, and we keep stacking that momentum. 4 copies of Horrifying Realization, 1/5, 2 mid-block form. Each player discards a card and draws a card. If our rival discarded a foundation this way, they have to commit a foundation. More often than not, just gets an attack out of hand, and being a 7-hander with 21 health usually is a good thing, is that they're pitching attacks. More often than not, because they don't want to add to Walk the Dog minus difficulty, but again, the less attacks your rival has in hand, the more opt you're able to survive. And 4 copies of Exhausted Slumber, 0 difficulty, 5 check, 3 mid block. Tenacious, flip after this foundation is stunned during a rival attack, our block mod to block that attack gets -2. That's the errata on it. Man, gone are the days that Chaos has the most broken 0 diffs in the game. Actually, I'm kind of okay for it. There is a fair amount of stun going around, especially with like Mitchell, Chimino, Toga, Deception Dagger, stuff like that. Even like the ancillary stun ones, this card actually can just put some work into. 3 copies of Fast Friendship, 1/5/3, high block, flip. We get -2 speed. If we have more face downs, -3 instead. We gotta block sometime, right? We can't just eat everything, most likely because, you know, we are a 7-hander. 3 copies of Nice Try. Just read 2/5/3 low, -2 speed, which isn't the best ability, but the best ability is response. After our rival's combat phase begins, we get to ready it. Playable while committed. Next up is 4 copies of Master's Pride. Probably the best 0 diff maybe in the game currently after rotation. Yeah, this being able to add, like, being able to just like commit this to pass a check, then add momentum and ready all your copies is fantastic. 0/5/3 mid block. Response flip after a card would be added to your momentum, ready this card. Playable while committed, and the deadlock response after our attack deals damage, our next check gets +1. So that's just not once per turn. That's every time we deal damage. So let's say we have a Fortune's Favor out and this guy out, and our rival is in deadlock, and then they can't pass checks for some reason, we get +2 to our next checks, which is insane. Titan's Pursuit at 3x, we got 2 difficulty, 5 check, 2 mid block. Flip after our attack is completely blocked, we get to add the top card of our deck to momentum. So it just ramps that momentum up, and we're just able just to sling moves all day. 4 copies of Attitude Selector, 1/5/2, 2 high block. Response flip after we discard 1 or more cards from our hand, we get to draw a card. So that's when we pay costs, when our opponent makes us discard. It actually works on review, but you wouldn't want to do that on review because then you'd just be stuck with, you know, 7 cards in hand. So this would be something you'd want to do when you use Horrifying Realization. Seems like the only thing. Oh, long range support also works. And then if our rival has less than 15 cards in their discard pile, we also get to do that too. So the sideboard isn't completely. This is just some odds and ends. Some Armor of the Wolf, Blue Flame Torment, Aerial Goblin Bolt is just some 1x's that I just tossed in there. So that we have in there right now. That this list was given to me by my teammate Josh Moore. He's been messing around with different versions of Nott, so I appreciate the list that I can share with you guys. But this character is super cool. I think she's actually she may be one of the best characters in the set. I'm also starting to come around that I think a lot of the characters in the set are way better than a lot of us have previously realized. It just took some time for us to cook on it, and we're going to figure it out. So get in that kitchen, check out this Nott deck. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit those bells for notifications so you don't miss a video. And until the next video, take care.